5. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now if you are new here today, I'm recording in my brand new camera. Guys, I definitely don't know when I fooled myself into the idea that I'd become a singer, but if I actually invested the time and stopped smoking heavily and obviously affecting my, what do you call these things? Like your vocal cords, I could have been the next Beyonce. Really, if I just worked on it, I'd be the next Beyonce. But hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, I am recording with my brand new camera, recording in 4K. 4K. I don't think that went through. Recording in 4K, I'm so excited. It's my brand new sit down in 4K and I'm really hoping, I'm not sure if I'm gonna upload the video in 4K because I made some tweet a couple of weeks ago where I was like, should I record in 4K? Do people watch in 4K? And a lot of people were saying that because we have such expensive data rates that most people probably watch it in 120 HD. But for those who like the obviously ability of having 4K quality, I've decided to record my first video in 4K to get an idea of whether you guys prefer this or whether you guys just want to stick to the 1020 HD, right? But I'm back with another story time. I am so excited. If anyone wants to know any details on my hair, I definitely got this hair from TT Hair Couture. Now guys, I just have to say, I think I've been sleeping on TT Hair Couture. I know that obviously like any other business to start, it's got a little bit of like hiccups here and there, but the hair they've been serving lately has been top-notch quality. This is the hair that I was wearing at the Disney event. I got the hair from TT Hair Couture. This is the hair I was wearing at Disney, and so far the frontal has been laying like a dream. And I don't know if you guys have noticed that I've changed my ombre lip. I have started using Hermosa Floor, I think it's the Cocoa. Here it is. So I've been using this one called Cocoa Floor, and I mixed it with my very famous favorite ultra matte liquid lipstick from Roya. What the fuck is going on? I don't know what the fuck is going on. I think it's because I'm recording in 4K. I've done a new kind of ombre lip today. You guys know how much I live for nude, and today I decided to try this after being sent these over, I think about 4 months ago. I tried it today and I'm so in love because this is the kind of nude that I've wanted for a long time. But little did I know that mixing this Hermosa Floor in the color Cocoa Floor and mixing the Ultra Matte in the color Sweet Tooth have created my favorite ombre lip. So if you guys like this, I've definitely plugged you guys. But anyway, let's get started on the story time, okay? I completely forgot about the story time until one of my followers was saying that, Naledi, you haven't told the story time in a long time, what's going on? And then I thought to myself, it was time for me to catch some wins, not some L's. But you know, like any other good humanitarian, you know, I had to dig deep and remember which other L I caught so I could tell it on this very channel in 4K. 4K! You know what that means? That means it's 4K quality, bro. That's how I look right now. I'm looking 4K quality material. Like this is a spec. You understand? You're seeing me in crystal HD spec. I'ma stop. I remember this other story that happened to me, I think around about the same time where I was still messing with my very infamous exes. And because people have started kind of knowing which ex I'm talking about when I say their name, because their names are very infamous. Like for example, if I say Jerome, a lot of people know who I'm referring to. If I say Drake, a lot of people know who I'm referring to. If I say Kenneth, a lot of people know who I'm referring to. So now I've decided for this story, it is one of those exes mentioned, but I'm not gonna say which one. I actually want you guys to comment down below on who you think I'm talking about, okay? So fine, guys, I was dating this guy. I've told you guys stories about him on the channel. And obviously when we kind of had our falling out and I caught him for cheating, nothing new, same old shit, we broke up. But then I think about a year and I think about a year later, I think it was around the time I was seeing Nathan, very early on, like when me and Nathan started dating. So Nathan and I, it wasn't supposed to be, it started off as a fling, which I didn't know how serious it could become, so I never really thought much of it. I was just moving with the times. I realized very quickly on that I fell for Nathan, and hence our relationship began to kind of blossom from that point. But before we got to that point, it was just smash dash, thank you ma'am, but with each other consistently almost every day. Then like we were basically hi baby, hey babe. But before I realized that, no, this is my boyfriend, guys. I love him. An ex of mine came back in the picture. Okay, for story's sake, I'm just gonna eliminate Drake because it can never be Drake. Like, it ain't gonna happen ever again. But this ex came back into the picture because him and I, we ended off on a very cordial note. You know, most of my exes and I were really, really cordial. Cordial. So, you know, the comeback was not a bit far-fetched, right? So he makes a comeback and he was like, oh no, hey, he comments on one of my WhatsApp statuses actually. He sends me a tweet that one of his boys had screenshotted from Twitter and sent it to their boys group chat. You know what I'm saying? So he sends it to me, screenshots it, and he's like, look what you've done, basically. And in that kind of screenshot, I don't know what tweet I had made. Something about going back to each other's exes, I think. I was like, guys, maybe some of us are going back to each other's exes. And one of his friends sent that in the group, and he obviously then forwarded it to me. And we had a really quick laugh, and I obviously made some stupid jokes saying, you know what, I'll probably get back with you, this, that, and the third. I was lying, I'm a capster, I'm a liar, a fake, and a fraud. Cool. So we start talking, and that's kind of where it picks up again. What we did it, the situation that we did it, we obviously ended off on a cordial note, and then we pick up again where we left off. Now the dynamics are a little bit different because now it was the beginning of the year, so he was starting off very, Naledi, I think I want to make things right. I think I've changed. I realize now that I'm always going to care for you. I'm always going to love you. Like, you're crazy, but you're my baby. You're my crazy baby, you know? And as much as I was like, whatever, I was just like, right? So him and I, we started super cordial. And I don't know what I was celebrating. And he was like to me, he wants to come through and buy me a bottle. Like, he wanted to take me out that night, buy me a bottle, and basically celebrate my win. I don't know what win that was, but he just wanted to be a part of it, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, no problem. This is around last year. So this happened last year, right? This happened last year early. Yeah. He's like to me, where are you? What are you doing? Oh my goodness, sorry guys. He's like, where are you? What are you doing? I want to hang out with you. Cool beans. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess we can grab lunch and just kind of catch up or anything, okay? So we grab lunch, we catch up. And one of the things about him that I really like is that we are good friends before anything. Like, we can sit together, we can laugh together, and, you know, really, really catch up. So cool. We have the lunch, and as we sit and we're talking, we then kind of obviously dwindle on the past. And now I haven't told him that I'm seeing Nathan, because Nathan and I, it was a bit shaky. You know what I mean? Like, we very much loved each other, we were very much in love, but I don't know what it was. I think maybe we were in two different headspaces about relationships and about settling and this and that and the third. So I thought, because Nathan was more in my age category and he was a bit older, he's in his 30s, obviously their views on relationship are very different. So him and I, it was definitely gonna be a girlfriend-boyfriend setup. So then I asked him, and I'm like, are you done obviously messing around with my feelings, messing around with other women? Well, not other women, one other particular woman that I knew of, right? Because one thing I'll give to him is that he wasn't really concerned with women. Like, he wasn't really concerned with things like that. Even when I've seen him in public, I've never seen him out with other women. I think he's just been very money driven. That's the one thing I know about him. Like, that dude is a hustler, okay? When I say he's a hustler, he hustles, and it's money based. It's never really women based. Yes, he cheated. Yes, he had one specific woman, but that was the only one that I knew of. So let's leave it at that, right? He could have been a hot ass mess. So he tells me, I'm like, dude, are you done? Like, what's the status with you and this particular girl? And he was like, no, I haven't spoken to her. That's all, yeah. And I'm like, so you're saying from January up until this point, and from January up until this point, it must have been like March. It must have been like March, right? So I'm saying, are you saying from the 31st of December up until today, where we're sitting, you haven't spoken to this girl? He's like, no. I'm like, hey, are you sure? He's like, no, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't spoken to her in so long. I haven't seen her at all. I don't want to do that anymore. And the last thing I would ever want to do is hurt you again by having that particular woman in the picture. And for story's sake, I'm going to call her, I know that I gave her a name in the other story time, but I'm going to give her a different one now because I don't remember what name I gave her then. I'm going to give her Amanda. I'm like, dude, are you done with Amanda? You know, the last thing I need is for you to create that wedge between Amanda and myself again, you know? And he's like, dude, I am done. Honestly, Amanda and I, we could be very good friends. Amanda's got a boyfriend right now. Now he's dishing the tea. He's giving me the tea. Amanda, it looks like Amanda's man bought her a car. I'm like, sabawel, what other people are doing for their girlfriends, because personally, I've never received that treatment from a nigga. I think at most, the one boyfriend who's really outdone himself and still cannot be topped on the leaderboard is Drake, and that was because from a financial perspective he really was very comfortable. We dated for a long period of time, but he never really bought me a car, you know. I mean, he didn't buy me anything that's tangible that I still have today besides, like, you know, accessories and like clothing, right? But on the leaderboard he's still number one in terms of soft life in my past. So he's like, yeah, no, she got a car. And I'm like, you know, side note, I've always been jealous of women who are able to get things like that from guys, because I've never, ever received treatment like that. I don't know if it's because I generally don't have the patience for men. I don't have the patience to beg a man and to submit to a man and to do anything like that unless I'm really in love with you. So I think maybe I've missed out on so many opportunities, but also I get asked out by the crummiest of crumbs. You understand? I don't know what it is. And then maybe the niggas who do have money, there's always some sort of attachment that comes with it. Either he's got a girlfriend, a long-standing girlfriend, either he's married, either some or the other consequence comes into play with someone who generally has a comfortable, wealthy background. I could be wrong, but I'm high-key never wrong. Okay, cool. So after he tells me that story, I'm like, okay, I choose to give him the benefit of the doubt, but to be really honest with you, I didn't give him the benefit of anything because I didn't trust him. I didn't trust him, and I still don't trust him. No, now obviously I don't have a problem with him, but I mean, he did try to make a comeback recently, and I was like, no. So fine. We start talking after that. He's like, no, listen, dude, I know I fucked up. You really were down for me, and maybe at that time I couldn't be the man that you needed me to be. You had just broken up with someone and I felt those shoes that I had to fill. You know, he was honest, and he was like, but also I had my own commitments going on, and it was not the financial thing that he had an issue with. I think it was just the burden of having to date me, and at that time my career was taking off, and he's someone who just likes to remain in the shadows. So I understood where he was coming from by being honest about why he kind of got cold feet and he was drifting more towards what was comfortable for him and what he was used to, right? So, okay, cool. Then when he spoke, I really kind of understood where he was coming from. Those feelings kind of, you know, bubbled up again, because I was like, I loved him. I did. I can't believe I'm saying this on camera. But I loved him, and he took me out of a dark place. So I could never take that away from him. And in a lot of our relationship aspect, he was always the very calm gent, and I was always the very that's just who I am, right? Even with my new boyfriend right now, we need to give him a name. I'm gonna call him Frank. My boyfriend's name is Frank. Do not quote him with his real name in the comments, because he doesn't deserve his real name on this channel. His name is Frank. So even with Frank, I'm just the same person. Like, I'm a very erratic human being. I can be very happy, but when I'm very angry, I feel things in like leaps and bounds and waves. So I forgave him, and we decided, okay, we're gonna pick up where we left off. So we tried. Well, Nathan was in the picture. Yes, I'm telling the truth. Not that I cheated on Nathan. No, it wasn't cheating, because even me and Nathan, we didn't know what we were doing, right? But we tried. We went out on a date or two. And as we went out on a date or two, those dates were great, and maybe they felt familiar and more comfortable, but I still was very much attracted to Nathan, because Nathan was somebody new, and Nathan, he gave me the fire. Oh my God, am I describing all my exes and what I love about them? P.S. to all the boys I love, you suck for losing a gym. But that's fine. We go out on a date or two, and then I don't know, something good happens to me. Oh, I think it was the Wendy Williams thing. And then he's like to me, no, I want to take you out to celebrate. I want to buy you a bottle of Cristal at the club. Gary, the boy is back. The boy is wrecked. The boy is back. The boy is wrecked. The boy is, yay. I was like, Cristal? Is that what I heard? Cristal? He's like, yeah. I'll come to wherever you are. I was at the club that night. I don't know what I was doing there, but I told him where I was, and he was like, nah, I'm going to be on my way. I'm going to buy a bottle of Cristal. Then he doesn't come. Because you know what? He's a flop, he's a op, and he's not on top. He flops, and I understood because I was leaving anyway. I don't really like clubs. One thing I'll tell you about me is that I can do lounges, bars, but clubs, you'll hardly ever see me at a club. You'll hardly ever see me at a club. So it's fine. He doesn't come. He comes to my place that night and he wants to talk to me. Obviously I'm pissed off at him. I'm like, no, just leave. I won't talk to you. And he's like, Naledi, listen, I really got caught up. It wasn't about the money. I'm like, yeah, go 5,000. Guys, did you not send me 5,000 on the spot? Ah! I was like, oh my God. He's like, did he not send me 5,000 on the spot? And he's like, if you don't shut your motherfucking mouth right now. Because I was like, yeah, you must just say and stop trying to flex on me. When have I ever been with you for the money? Why would you come to me and say you're going to buy me Cristal? Even like Cristal, I don't know how much Cristal costs in the club. I don't know why I assumed it was 5,000 at my big age. Nothing. Like, even it can't cost 5,000 rand, Naledi, because Dom costs 6. So I'm basically going on for him. I'm like, yeah, measly 5,000 rand. Oh, guys, I can't believe I'm so dumb. I'm like, yeah, you can even buy me anything, whatever the case may be. You let me on. Lady next time, Lily Shabo, this, that, and the third. He sends me 5,000 rand. He drives off. He's pissed off at me, but I got the money, right? So I'm like, bro, I'm gonna send it back to you. I don't want it. And he's like, no, Naledi, don't. You know I want you, and I'm telling you right now on my chest, I couldn't come, not because I stood you up, but because I was in a meeting with some gents. I really had something I needed to do. I'm like, that's my man. So fine, the next day I forgive him because obviously I have 5,000 in my account. I'm gonna forgive him. We start talking and I ask him again about Amanda. I'm like, you know what? You hurt me. You actually humiliated me. And if I'm gonna take this step with you again, I'm taking this humiliation on again. And I'm saying, well, I'm gonna choose to love you despite your shortcomings. Are you and Amanda done? He's like, Naledi, I don't know how many times I can tell you this. We're done. This is another day now, during the week, I even remember. Fine. I'm like, no, man. Something in my gut is telling me this guy's lying. He's lying and he's a liar. Oh, you know what he does? He tells me a story. He's like, oh, let me take you to Cape Town. I'm like, Cape Town? He's like, yeah, let me take you to Cape Town for a weekend. I don't know, guys. I think I graduated or something like that. I don't know what was going on. He's like, let me take you to Cape Town for a weekend. I'm like, no, why? Now, I couldn't tell him I couldn't go because I was seeing Nathan. And what was I going to say to Nathan? How was I going to lie to Nathan and tell him that I'm in Cape Town? And on top of that, even with my ex, the ex that I told him was bothering me. I'm such bruh. So I declined Cape Town and he's like, we should go. It was so nice. I went earlier this year around January with my boy. We're spending time there as boys. Boys only, Aria. Okay. Yeah, Anja. Yeah, but it was that. If it wasn't for that, I would have never found out that he went to Cape Town. It's gonna play out. He's like, no, I went to Cape Town early this year with my boy. We're spending time there. I'm like, as boys only, as machita. I don't know if he told me that his boy was there with his girl, but essentially it led to the topic of no, negasabamba. Right after that call, you know what I do? I send him a long message and I'm like, you know what? If I find out that you're lying to me, and if I find out that you and Amanda are still seeing each other, this will probably be the last time we communicate because I don't need these lies from you and I don't need you play me like a fiddle like this. He's like, no, babe, that's not what's going on. Wada. Cool. He's busy sending me those messages. Me, what do? I call Amanda. You know me. It's fierce for God. I fear nothing and no one. On this planet, the only person I fear is God. I don't even fear I fear my parents. If you see my dad, guys, he's so scary. Ooh, guys, my dad. So I call Amanda and I'm like, Amanda, you know what? Girl, you and I, we don't have beef. We don't have any qualms. Ne? Are you still seeing this guy? And she's like, Naledi, I'm like, no, dude, this guy's back in the picture and he's asking me out again. And I asked him if he's seeing you because I obviously don't want any more qualms. I know that you and him cared about each other a lot. I know that you loved each other. So I just want to know, are you guys still seeing each other? Because I never want us to go through what we went through previously. And she's like, well, we were still seeing each other. I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, I spoke to him like not too long ago. I'm like, what the fuck are you? What are you talking about? She's like, no. Dude, me and this guy have been seeing each other since. Like, even from after that breakup thing, after that thing where we all had that like a little falling out, whatever. Him and I continue to see each other after a while. We continue to see each other. And I'm gonna be dead honest with you, Naledi. I'm gonna keep it 100. I really love this guy. We've been through a lot. It's been 2 long years. I'm like, 2 years? No, I think she said 5 years. I think, guys, this thing I want to. So now she starts telling me the truth as to how long her and this guy have actually been on and off for about plus minus 5 years. Oh, plus minus 3 or 4 years. Somewhere there. Mara, yes. And she's like, dude, I love this guy. We've been through so much together. And I think obviously ever since he started poppering, he obviously started going for the people that he genuinely wanted or whatever. But him and I, we still continue to see each other. Even then she blurts out. She doesn't blurt it out. She's talking. It's casual. It's like, no, even earlier this year, he took me to Cape Town. She's like, yeah. Earlier this year, him and I were in Cape Town with his friend and the girlfriend. I'm like, Amanda, tell me you're lying. Because he said to me that he was in Cape Town by himself. She's like, no. So she starts cracking. She's like, this guy's a liar. So I'm like, wait, Amanda, talk to me. Are you telling me that you were seeing this guy until recently now when you guys decided to obviously stop talking? I think at the time when I called and asked her about it, they had some kind of agreement of parting ways or whatever. And she was like, no. Yeah, obviously, it's an on and off thing. Like sometimes we have Utlwana, sometimes Utlwana. But in Cape Town, we were together. Now I'm catching feelings for the boy. Again. Like a little dumbass. I get Thank you. So now I get pissed. Because now I'm like, oh, and then she proceeds to tell me one other big bomb. She's like to me, and also, Naledi, I would advise you don't get entangled in him, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm like, why? Well, obviously I don't want to get entangled in him anymore after she told me that they were still seeing each other and they basically slept together like, it's a khale. No, it's a khale. It's maloba. Maloba fella. Maloba fella ne le tobalan. I'm like, what else? She's like, dude, you know that he's got a long-term girlfriend, right? I'm like, yeah, you. You. He's like, no. As in he's got a long-term 7-year girlfriend that lives in the same area as him, where they grew up together and dated and are still very much together. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you saying, bro? She's like, dude, yes, he's got a long-term girlfriend, and she even knows about the long-term girlfriend because apparently she needed to move to another province to go work or study or whatever. She even told me, well, she didn't tell me, I dug. She told me, she's like, no, dude, this girl is working in another province or studying in another province, and she's been there for a few years now, but they are definitely still very much together. They're definitely still very much seeing each other. Even I knew this from when him and I started seeing each other. I'm like, did you leave this very important piece of information out until a year later? Until about almost a year and a half later. Yes, because the other incident happened about 3-4 years ago. So, last day, kidding, 2021. Exactly. Understand? So, because yes, exactly, yes, 2021. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, dude, so what do I do? Now I'm fucking going off at him. I'm like, you see, you're a fucking liar. How could you fucking lie to me about Cape Town? You said to me that you went by yourself, you know? And then he's like, now he's going on another lie between the same women. And I'm just like, how do you keep doing this to me? Then as we're busy talking about that incident, I go through his following list on Instagram. I had even forgotten I will never forget his Instagram handle. I went and I looked for it. I went to his following, who he's following. I went through each and every single person. I tried to reach, I think the girl told me the girl's name. I went through each and every single person and I found her and I decided to DM her. Because then I was here. I was gevaarlijk. I was gergatful. I was just everything correct. Negative everything is right. So then I DM this girl. While I'm talking to him, I DM this girl and I'm like, hey dude, my name is, I don't know this, but if you're dating this person in question, I just want you to know that him and I, we had a relationship in this year and we were on the road to having another one. So I don't know if you guys are still together, but I thought you should know. I take that picture on Instagram, I screenshot it, I send it to him. I'm like, now the papa shall dance because now you've got me effed up. And that was my first time woman to woman, but obviously because I'm a little punk ass bitch, shortly after I unsent it. Because let me tell you why. One, it was going to end up in the message request. I don't know how frequently this person was on Instagram. I don't know anything regarding that. So after I sent it, he didn't say anything to me. I sent it to him and I was like, you know what? I want her to find out the kind of coward and the kind of fuckface that you are when she thinks that you guys are committed to one another. But she's probably also messing around. I think they probably have a relationship now because I mean, you can't make it work from province to province. Well, maybe can. I don't know. I personally, I just don't have that strength in me. It's not there. It's not working. So right afterwards, you know, he stopped talking to me. He stopped talking to me for months. He didn't want to hear anything out of my mouth. That's when I saw him being pissed for the first time ever. He ignored me for months. After that text where I was like, you know what, the papa shall dance this time for real, he ignored me. When he saw the screenshot where I sent it to his real girlfriend, Mastende, Ona di talente, he never spoke to me again, guys. He never, ever spoke to me again. Well, I mean, until recently. But like, we're still good. Like, I forgave him for all of that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I told myself I could never be his girlfriend again, because of that particular incident. I was just like, whoa. I don't know this guy the way I thought I do. And you know, when you're in a relationship and you guys start you're getting intimate, and you're getting intimate in an unsafe manner, you need to really be careful. Because once you start finding out things like that, there's too many of us. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what happened. I confronted the Mastende, but the Mastende didn't get back to me. I obviously unsent it after a few days because I felt like, one, I was embarrassed for myself. It was the second-hand embarrassment of even going to a girl and trying to tell her what was I gonna get out of that? You know what I mean? Probably wasn't gonna leave him anyway. But also, what about Istima Sami Piao? You know? What about my own stima? So I was just like, nope. This embarrassment ain't gonna get the best of me. So I unsent it, and that's pretty much what happened. But yeah, guys, we're okay. I forgave him. I definitely got over it. I definitely forgot about the whole thing. We're really good now. We might get married. You never really know, but we might not, because I think Frank wants to marry my ass and take me off the streets as soon as he can. But anyway, guys, that is it. We've reached the end of the story. Please comment down below. Let me know what you thought. 1, of the quality of the video. 2, who do you think I was talking about out of all my exes? And 3, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you're not a channel member yet, just know that there are details that are coming out about this giveaway that I'm only going to release to channel members only. So if you're not a channel member, there are certain videos you're not going to be able to see, but those ones will be catered specifically to the channel members to let them know what they need to do to stand a chance to win the camera. But anyway, we have reached the end of the video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next story time.